accountability partner in the
Welcome to Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. You know, I've been telling you that branding legend Linda Pringle Evans is going to be at the Newsworthy Stories Bring Your Business to the Beach NetWORKcation. And you know what? There's something I haven't told you. And that's we are joining forces on something called Branded Newsworthy. Linda, I am so excited to talk about this event and initiative that we're doing because it's something that we found was missing. So first of all, you know, so glad to have you today.
Thank you for having me, and it is my pleasure to be here with you, Jackie. Thank you so much. I should say Jacqueline, since we are doing the show. It is my pleasure to be here with you, Jacqueline.
It's so funny, you know. It's so funny because, you know, I say Linda is coming, and she will be, you know, our special guest at the Newsworthy Stories Bring Your Business to the Beach NetWORKcation. But you have to understand, when I told her about the event, she was just coming to the event, and I was like, that is
I
not
wanted
happening.
to support you. I wanted to come and support you and your efforts. I am so proud of you.
I appreciate that, but there was no way that you were going to come and just sit and have breakfast and not talk to us about who you are and what you're doing. And also, you know, it gave us a start to go, you know what, let's go ahead and, you know, talk about Branded Newsworthy. And so really what I want you to start with, Linda, is branding. You know, we have heard this word all over the place, but you have been branding people for decades. You know, you're not a newcomer, you know. And so my thing is the branding the way you brand. You know, what is the most important element that comes to mind? And then, you know, give us some insight on that.
Well, first of all, Jacqueline.
Just call me Jackie.
All right, Jackie. I feel more relaxed when I say Jackie. First of all, Tom Peters made the introduction back in 96 or 97 about you need more, you're going forward, you would need more than a resume. It will become about your personal brand, which is true. But the way our evolution of technology has taken over, and with AI at its rapid speed of growth, what I have discovered and learned from myself and have lived it and have helped clients is the most important thing today is build your name as the brand. And that's why branded has become so important, because there are so many people who are thinking about their business, and you should, and building their brand based on their business. Okay. But trends change.
Yes.
And as trends change, you, the person, you are still evolving yourself. But one thing won't change, and that is your name. Your name is your greatest asset today. And think about it. You hear some of the entertainers, the stars, they always talk about my brand, my name, my brand, my name. Well, you are no different. And I want people to really take ownership. And that's what it is, taking ownership of your name. You are as important as anybody else. And I want people to walk away from what we're going to be doing and just seeing themselves in a totally different light. Because what we're going to be doing together is putting a spotlight on people because you deserve it. The work, your values, you, the person, your character, your strengths, all of that is part of who you are. And thinking about, especially when we're talking to professionals or entrepreneurs, speakers, authors, the list goes on and on. But I want you to think about how important your name really is because it means everything today. It does. Think about this. And Jackie, you and I, we discussed this earlier.
Yes.
What is the one thing people do today? And they'll do it in front of your face. When they hear a name, what do? They Google it
Right?
immediately.
Immediately.
Immediately. I've had people to do it right in front of my face. I've seen them do it to other people and they go, oh, yes. Well, okay. So it's important for you to have that reputable presence online. And that's something we're going to help them with, Jackie.
Right. Exactly.
And we're going to get more into it later. But I want to ask our viewers, have you taken the time to Google your name?
Okay. I have done it. And I tell you, I was excited. I actually had good news to say, and that's actually how I realized that my branding, when I brand others, is working because of the hashtags. I realized that because I hashtag my name with every story I post, not just the stories I post myself, but with every story I post, whether, it's your story I'm posting or I'm posting something about it. If I'm representing that story, I hashtag my name. And so by doing that alone, that has put my name up there in the top, right? And so the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Linda, or bring up was when we talk about that name. What's in a name, right? There's so much in a name. But remember when, we were growing up and when you left the house.
Oh, yes.
And your parents said, when you leave this house, what name, you better remember who you represent, right? There's so much behind a name.
The value.
And it really is that name and that value that people put on that name because your name is going to be your influence. You can't have a logo representing your name because that doesn't tell us who you are. It doesn't give us enough information. A logo is great. It's great to recognize it. But if I don't know who's behind the logo or, it's just a logo to me. It doesn't tell me anything. Even when I'm one of the things that I did, even with branding or promoting the Newsworthy Stories NetWORKcation, was that if your logo did not say the name of the brand or the name of the company, I put your face next to it. I created graphics that at least showed your face and your logo. Because really, if your logo doesn't have your name or name of the company, or if we can't tell what it is just by looking at it, it's not saying enough. And that even goes to the branded newsworthy part of it, is because someone once told me, right? Don't have a business card without your picture on it. It's not just for real estate agents.
That's right. It's true.
Because if you have a business card that you're passing out, people are not going to remember who you are. So again, it goes back to that visibility of branding, remembering, because this is a memory tool. Your name means something. Your brand means something.
And you want it to last. And remember what Jeff Bezos said is about personal brand. It's about what people are saying about you when you're not in the room. Okay. So that tells you your name is coming up in conversations that you are not even aware of. You will be surprised at what happens when you take the time and brand your name, because it creates what Jackie was speaking of a moment ago. It also brings credibility to who you are. Then that's what our parents was speaking of when they said, remember who you're representing when you go out that door. Remember whose name you're carrying. So I remember those days just as if it was yesterday. But that was part of personal branding. People took so much pride
Yes.
in regarding their names. So personal, and as I stated a moment ago, Jackie, it's different today. I was speaking with a girlfriend last night, and we were discussing what you and I are talking about right now about your personal brand and building your name as the brand. And this person I was speaking with, she had been a former HR person and started her own business as an HR consultant. And she was telling me the number of jobs that are going to be eliminated within the next several years because of AI. And when she started naming some of those jobs, my mouth just dropped open because there were some jobs she mentioned. I did not see AI being able to replace the human body to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the next several years, I will say by 2030, we're going to see such a shift in our country regarding employment opportunities. And if you're someone who is afraid of I would suggest become comfortable with learning about it, because it is the wave of the future and you cannot get away from it. I didn't, when it first came out about I wasn't that interested. Someone said, oh, check out Chat GPT. And I thought, what in the heck is Chat GPT? What is that going to do? And I had someone to say, okay, Linda, I want you to try this. And then I started receiving information online about ChatGPT and the prompts and the things that you can do with it, what you should be, how you should, really get it to know you so that your information, it truly sounds, it has your voice, it has your knowledge that you are sharing. So I played around with it and I kept trying, and eventually I thought, OMG, oh, how, and it did. And then I called my girlfriend, who's a travel agent, and I said to her what I had just learned. And she said, do this for me. And she wanted to create a flyer, right? And I said, okay, so give me some information about it. She gave me some information. So I really was quite detailed, put the information in. It created the most beautiful, detailed flyer. She could never have done it herself. She would have had to pay someone to do it, but she got it for free. All she needed was to get someone to do the graphics to go along with it. But the reason why I'm sharing this is because change has come. Whoever is viewing this, understand change has come and is coming even greater in the future. So being able to be proactive now is setting you up for success later. And that is why Jackie and we're doing Branded Newsworthy, because it's the trend. It really is the trend now for those who are seeking to put a spotlight on themselves, to get those opportunities that Jackie is able to help you to get local media to cover you in your area, how to tell your story where your story will be captivating and compelling enough where somebody's going to reach out to you and say, hey, I'd love to have you as a guest on my podcast. Or you may be someone who has the gift of gab, who can get out there and speak and change lives and for people. So it can create speaking opportunities. The list goes on and on. What you, the individual, and that's why your name is so important to me. Because when you start thinking about the name of who you are taking not partial, but full ownership of who you are, and you're ready now to spread your wings and fly and let everybody know who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you can do for them.
And that's really why during this networkation, we're going to be talking about what do you want to be known for?
Yes,
Because before you can even brand yourself, you need to know what you want to be known for, not what people are talking about. You want to decide, because if you don't decide what you want to be known for, people are going to decide it for you. And
absolutely.
sometimes they put you in a corner that you are really not able to live up to your name. And so I know for me personally, I have had to tear down some walls,
Mhm.
or platforms people have put me on, because I was like, that is not what I am capable of doing or want to do, or even, remotely want to do. And so
Yes.
one of the things in particular, we talk about PR all the time. And I know when I first started sharing newsworthy stories with people, they were like, "Oh, you're a PR person." I was like, "No, I am not." you know, I said, "I am really good at generating news coverage, but I'm a news producer and I'm a media strategist.
Mhm.
That is what I have done most of my life." And so being able to strategize and tell you, you know, how to get news
Yes.
coverage, tell you how to engage with your community, your targeted community, how to brand you through story. It's, but again, you have to know what your brand is. You have to know what you want to be known for. And then you start talking about what a brand looks like, and to me,
Yes.
that is, Linda Pringle Evans all day long, you know,
Thank
she
you.
just has a way of thinking that comes naturally to her. And for story, that just
Mhm.
comes naturally for
Yeah,
me. And we really
absolutely.
complement one another. So it just made sense. And we want to be able to offer this. And I'm going to tell you, and I know you're going to add to this, because both of us, there's this gap in the business community where
Mhm.
you've got these incredible executives and professionals that are leading million and billion dollar companies, but they're doing it under somebody else's name. And,
Absolutely.
and this is
Mhm.
why we're trying to show you how to brand yourself. So
Mhm.
when you want to be a consultant, or when you're ready to step out, or you want to move forward,
Mhm.
or you want to leave a legacy in your name,
Yes.
we're going to show you how to do that.
How to do it. And I love the fact that you brought that up, Jackie, because we were saying stop branding, stop building the brand of someone else and build your own brand. Even if you are working in a corporation, you know the culture, you know your position, you know exactly what you're doing, but they need to know you. They need to know your name. As Jackie mentioned, a lot of people are transitioning, and I'm sure there will be more to come to transition. But when you make that transition and you built your brand as your name, it makes doors easier to open for you. You can get the endorsements you need for going farther. And it also does this for you, it makes you premium. You can charge higher fees. If you incorporate, you can negotiate. Think about the value you bring. You are worth it. So those are the things that we are going to be sharing during
Yeah.
our time together.
So, yes. So come to the Newsworthy Stories networkation
Oh,
so
yes.
that you can meet Linda in person. We can talk about this further, you know, get into when we're actually going to launch this.
Mhm.
But being able to talk about your industry with us together that just doesn't happen every day. We don't live in the same state,
No, we don't.
So this is quite the opportunity. And I can say that because I can't wait to just see Linda myself. So I'm really looking forward to it. But please understand, what we're doing is creating influence. Your name leads to
Mhm.
influence. And
Yes.
the more influence you have, the more you can do with it. And
Yes.
nothing taken away from the corporation that you've been working
Mhm.
with or anything like that. What this does simply is that everyone can't get the award, right? We
No.
all can't get the award, And so this just makes sure that people understand your worth, your
Yes.
newsworthiness, right? Your
That's right.
worth in your brand and what you're doing. And it allows you to have it yourself.
Mhm.
You don't have to share that platform with anyone. And actually, ultimately, what will actually happen is you will bring business to both you and your company.
That's right.
Because once people actually see not all that you're doing with the company, but what you're doing in the community, that's
That's
where
right.
the impact is.
Yes.
That's where the
Truly.
stories are, because now you're going to be a business leader, not just an executive here or a business owner there. You will become a business leader. And that's the kind of
Oh,
thing that we're going to be talking about. How do you do that? Well,
yes.
yeah.
Because you can be a thought leader even in corporate, no matter where you are. You can become, or you are, let me just say this, you are already a thought leader. You just don't know it. And you think, and you're too busy in your mind just doing what you feel needs to be done to help you to advance. And that's good, but you are truly a thought leader. And that's something what building your name as a brand does is help you to stand out, being different. Hear me, being different from everyone else, because that's what a brand does. It sets you apart from everybody else. You don't want to fit in, you want to stand out. So
And nothing does that like your name. No one can be you,
that's
right?
think about it. When you say Oprah, when you say Martha Stewart, when you say
Linda
Rihanna,
Pringle Evans. When you say Linda Pringle Evans,
or Jacqueline Jimenez,
amen,
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. That's what we're talking about. And it's not for the other person. It's not for them. It's for you.
it's for you.
It's for you.
Yes,
So that's our personal invitation to come join us at the Newsworthy Stories. Bring your business to the beach NetWORKcation. It is going to be on Thursday, September 18th. Oh my goodness.
yes.
Please be in
Two
the room.
weeks, 2 weeks from today.
Don't say that. Because it might not be 2 weeks when somebody else sees it. So just make sure that you're in the room on Thursday, September 18th. And I can tell you right now, more cities are joining us. Another city has joined us. They're going to be in the room. So the opportunities have just increased. I cannot wait. Uh, I cannot wait. This is just so exciting. Thank you, Linda, for sharing a little snippet with us so we can get excited about coming and meeting you in person.
Oh, I cannot wait for the event. I am looking forward to being able to just give you a big bear hug and meeting the individuals who will be in attendance and being able to be a blessing at the event. Yes, I'm coming to bless others, to bless you, Jackie. And that's what it's all about.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Linda.
my pleasure.
Thanks for watching Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez.